The larger and more sophisticated the model, the more resources you may need to run it efficiently. Cloud services can solve that problem, but there is a trade-off. You send your workload to a remote server. You pay for access. Operating systems are getting more sophisticated. Creative software is adding AI features. Browsers can consume enormous amounts of memory with enough tabs and applications open. Development environments can involve containers, virtual machines, simulators, databases, and local AI tools all running at once. Professional users often have several of these workloads active simultaneously. That means a machine with huge memory headroom can feel very different. You're not constantly asking yourself what you can close. You're not constantly waiting for memory pressure to disappear. You are not forced to reorganize your workflow around the limitations of your computer. The machine simply has more room to breathe. But there's a catch. There is always a catch with an Apple workstation. Price. Apple's high-end configurations have never been cheap. And when you combine a powerful Ultra chip with enormous memory capacity, the final price can climb very quickly. This is where the M5 Ultra Max Studio could become a fascinating product. It might be one of the best desktop computers for a very specific group of people, but it may be completely unnecessary for almost everyone else. And that is okay. Not every product needs to be for everyone. A professional workstation exists for people who can turn that performance into money, time savings, or creative output. If an editor can save several hours every week because exports finish faster, that performance has value. If a 3D artist can work with larger scenes without constantly optimizing everything, that has value. If a developer can run demanding AI models locally instead of paying for cloud infrastructure, that can have value. If a production studio can handle workloads on a compact desktop without maintaining a giant workstation tower, that has value. For those people, the price becomes easier to justify. But for someone who simply wants to edit family videos, browse the web, play some games, and watch Netflix, an Ultra Max Studio would be massive overkill. And that distinction is important because the internet loves to compare computers based on maximum specifications. Maximum RAM, maximum GPU cores, maximum storage, maximum performance. But maximum does not always mean best. The best computer is the one that fits your workload. And the M5 Ultra is clearly being positioned at the extreme end. It is a machine for the person who looks at a normal high-end Mac and says, I need more. Much more. There is also an interesting question about gaming. Apple's silicon has become remarkably powerful for graphics, but the Mac is still not primarily a gaming platform. That means the M5 Ultra's enormous GPU capability should not automatically be interpreted as a gaming revolution. The real value is likely to come from professional graphics workloads, video production, 3D rendering, simulation, scientific computing, AI development, content creation, and other applications that can actually use that hardware. That is where a huge GPU and huge unified memory pool can make sense. For video professionals, this could be especially interesting. Modern cameras can produce enormous files. 8K video is no longer science fiction. High bitrate codecs can put serious pressure on storage and processing. Professional projects can involve multiple camera angles, visual effects, color correction, audio processing, motion graphics, and AI-powered tools. The computer has to manage all of this without becoming a bottleneck. And the bigger the project becomes, the more important the entire system is. You can have the fastest SSD in the world, but if your processor cannot process the footage quickly enough, you are still waiting. You can have an extremely powerful GPU, but if you do not have enough memory for the project, you can still run into limitations. You can have a powerful chip, but if the system overheats and reduces performance under sustained load, that peak performance does not tell the whole story. That is why the M5 Ultra story is not just about one specification. It is about balance. CPU, GPU, memory, bandwidth, thermals, software, and the way all those components communicate. Apple controls both the hardware and the operating system. That gives the company an advantage when optimizing professional workflows. Of course, Windows workstations still have major strengths. Traditional PCs can offer enormous flexibility. You can select your graphics card. You can change components. You can build around specific workloads. You can use a huge range of hardware. But Apple is taking a different approach. It wants the entire system to work together as one control platform. That philosophy has become even more important with Apple Silicon. And the M5 Ultra could be the most extreme expression of that philosophy yet. There's another reason the timing matters. Artificial intelligence is changing what people expect from computers. A few years ago, AI was mostly something you access through the cloud. You open a website. You typed a prompt. A remote data center did the heavy lifting. Now AI is increasingly moving onto the device itself. Phones can run AI features. Laptops can run local models. Developers can experiment with AI tools directly on their machines. Creative applications can use AI for image generation, video processing, transcription, editing, enhancement, and automation. That trend creates a new demand for local computing power. And this is where a machine like the M5 Ultra Max Studio becomes particularly interesting. It could be less about traditional benchmark numbers and more about what you can actually run locally. Imagine opening a large language model on your Mac, running an AI coding assistant locally, processing a huge image library, generating assets, analyzing video, transcribing audio, searching through private documents, testing machine learning systems, all without sending every piece of information to an external service. That does not mean local AI will always beat cloud AI. It will not. The largest models will continue to require enormous infrastructure. But local computing can offer something the cloud cannot always provide. Control, privacy, predictability, and independence from monthly usage limits. That could make extremely high memory Macs more relevant than their raw specifications suggest. But now we come to another mystery. If the M5 Ultra Max Studio is so powerful, why has there been so much uncertainty around its arrival? Part of the answer could be manufacturing. Advanced processors are not simple products to produce. Modern chips require extremely sophisticated manufacturing processes. The packaging is complicated. Memory is complicated. Supply chains are global. And when demand for certain components increases across the entire technology industry, even huge companies can run into constraints. Memory is particularly interesting because the AI boom has dramatically increased demand for high-performance memory and related components. Data centers around the world are buying enormous quantities of hardware. AI accelerators require massive memory bandwidth. Cloud companies are building new infrastructure. Server manufacturers are competing for components. And consumer electronics companies are also trying to secure supply. That creates pressure throughout the industry. Apple is large enough to have significant purchasing power, but it is not isolated from the semiconductor supply chain. If a crucial component is limited, the entire product schedule can be affected. That could explain why a high-end Mac Studio update might arrive later than some people expected. And it could also affect the price. If the cost of memory and advanced components rises, Apple has a few choices. It can absorb the cost. It can reduce margins. It can change configurations. Or it can pass some of that cost to customers. Apple has historically shown that it is willing to charge premium prices for premium configurations. So anyone waiting for an M5 Ultra Max Studio should not assume that a huge performance upgrade will come with a huge discount. In fact, the opposite could happen. The entry price could become an important part of the story. Apple may choose to focus the Ultra model more heavily on professional users. That could mean fewer low-end configurations. The company could reserve the most extreme chip and memory combinations for customers willing to pay a serious premium. And that would make sense from a business perspective. Apple does not need millions of people buying the Ultra model. It needs the right customers to see enough value in it. The Mac Studio has always occupied an interesting position in Apple's lineup. It sits between consumer desktops and the Mac Pro. It offers professional performance without the size and complexity of a traditional workstation. And if the M5 Ultra really pushes the platform forward, the gap between the Mac Studio and Mac Pro could become even more interesting. Because there is a question many professionals are already asking. Why buy a huge workstation if a compact Mac Studio can deliver the performance you need? That is the challenge Apple itself created. The better the Mac Studio becomes, the harder it becomes to justify a more expensive and physically larger machine unless you need very specific expansion capabilities. For many creative professionals, compactness is not a disadvantage. It is a feature. A small computer that sits quietly under a display can be more convenient than a giant tower. You get more desk space, less clutter, less complexity, and potentially less power consumption compared with some traditional workstation setups. That is one of the reasons the Mac Studio concept has worked so well. The M5 Ultra could simply take that formula and turn the performance dial much higher. But there is one thing I would not expect. I would not expect Apple to suddenly transform the Mac Studio into a completely different-looking product. The current design already communicates what Apple wants. It is understated, professional, compact, and instantly recognizable. The real flex is that the machine does not need to look powerful. It just needs to perform. That may actually be more impressive than a dramatic redesign. A giant workstation can look powerful. A small silver box that quietly destroys demanding workloads is a different kind of statement. And if Apple can maintain that compact form while increasing the internal performance dramatically, the M5 Ultra Mac Studio could become one of the most interesting desktop Macs in Apple's lineup. Still, there is a bigger question. Will ordinary users actually notice the difference? For most people, probably not. If you already have a recent MacBook Pro or Mac Studio, everyday tasks may not suddenly become 10 times faster. Opening Safari will not feel like a new universe. Writing an email will not suddenly require an Ultra chip. Watching a movie will not become dramatically different. The biggest improvements will appear when the workload is heavy. When you are exporting, rendering, compiling, simulating, processing, generating, analyzing, or running multiple demanding applications at once. That is where the M5 Ultra could show its true advantage. And this is something that often gets lost in tech marketing. A powerful computer is not necessarily about making simple tasks faster. It is about making difficult tasks possible. That is the difference. A normal computer can open a photo. A professional workstation can process thousands of images automatically. A normal computer can edit a short video. A professional workstation can handle a massive multi-layer project. A normal computer can run an AI tool through the cloud. A high-memory workstation can potentially run demanding models locally. The value is not always visible in the first 5 minutes. It becomes visible when you push the machine to its limits. And that is exactly where the M5 Ultra Mac Studio is expected to live. At the limit. Right at the edge of what Apple can realistically put into a compact desktop. The question now is whether Apple can make all of this practical. Because specifications are one thing. Real-world performance is another. A computer can have an enormous number of cores, but if software cannot use them properly, much of that hardware sits idle. A machine can have hundreds of gigabytes of memory, but if your applications only need a fraction of it, the extra capacity does not magically make everything faster. A GPU can be extremely powerful, but if your workflow depends mostly on CPU performance, the benefits will be limited. That is why the software side will be just as important as the hardware. Apple needs developers to take advantage of the new architecture. Professional applications need to be optimized. AI tools need to understand the hardware. Creative software needs to scale efficiently. And Apple's own operating systems need to manage all of that intelligently. If those pieces come together, the M5 Ultra could be extremely impressive. If they do not, the headline specifications could end up being more exciting than the actual experience. That is the line Apple has to walk. And there is another issue. Heat. Remember that this is still a compact computer. No matter how advanced Apple's cooling system becomes, physics does not disappear. More performance means more energy. More energy